Oh no, it isn't. See, I could be enjoying my nice little continental flight with my complimentary little bag of peanuts and my nice warm towel, but I'm not. And for what? The little Hispanic retard. I didn't ask to come on this trip, did I? No, I don't think so. Did I ask you to be having me jump through some hoops like I'm some freaking circus poodle? No, I don't think so. Do I want to go to jail because of some lady cop killer? No, I don't think so. So as soon as I see the first man, I'm taking in and I'm riding him all the way back to New York City because this trip sucks. It sucks. Well, okay, Miss Chi-Chi. I am hereby stripping you of all of your princess points. She can't do that. Ooh. See, now that's voodoo right there.
I can't stay.
Guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tyra here with another struggle review, here to discuss To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. Now this movie is from 1995 and it stars Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, and John Leguizamo. Now before we get into all things poor little Latin boys in drag, I need you guys to drop down and like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to give you guys a moment to do that, then we're going to come back and discuss I'm a Princess. I'm a Princess. P to the R to the I to the N to the cess. Latin mystery, dark ancestry. You got it because you got it like Princess Chi-Chi.
Go back.
Now that you guys have hopefully subscribed to see more of me, let's get into this video. But before we jump into the movie, I have to give a shout out to the person who paid for and requested this film. So if you happen to sissy that walk, it's not because of me, it's because of this person right here. Thank you so much for supporting me and paying for this content. Now, this movie was directed by Biban Kidron. Not only did she direct this film, but she also directed Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit, as well as Bridget Jones, The Edge of Reason. Now, the writer, however, Douglas Carter Beane, put a new perspective and stamp on this movie for me, being that he's from the theater, writing for Broadway musicals such as Cinderella, Sister Act. It is so befitting in my opinion. I always felt like this movie was some offbeat, quirky scenario that would translate really well as a Broadway musical. With the writing, I also thought it was really funny that we had Patrick Swayze and Wesley Snipes really pressed for these roles to push themselves as creatives and actors, and then we get to John Leguizamo. This role was pretty much laid in his lap because the part was written with him in mind, and from the movie we can definitely see why. I also always thought that this film really rode the wave of Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, but that is completely false. Both films were in production and written exactly around the same time, but Priscilla just happened to come out first. Not to mention that To Wong Foo was always low-key my ultimate fave, and just even with the similarities, these movies really feel worlds apart to me. And on top of that, both of these movies, outside of the representation then of Miss RuPaul being a little bit of everywhere as far as media, music, TV, this was the first time that I got to see drag queens. Drag queens in this light anyway. Long before there was a Logo Network, shows like Pose, long before I ever got a chance to smell Paris is Burning, long before some good old RuPaul's Drag Race. I love that we have Miss Rachel Tension here. I don't know who he is, but if there's a snowstorm tonight, he's going on my tires. Like a little precursor to, you know, Sashay Away. Times were different. Myself, an avid TV and movie watcher, when you did see a drag queen, it was often comedic, but not the good kind. You were laughing at them and not with them. There was always some sitcom episode of some long lost buddy coming back now as a drag queen. Of course, we had other shows and movies where you have some straight-laced male, masculine male, have to resort to drag in order to hide from someone or to gain access to a job or a space that is usually designated for women. And of course, there's the homophobic hate crime side where the character is condemned and meant to feel ashamed for who they want to be. They are often the subject of violence, death, harassment, or they could just be, you know, a sex worker on an episode of Law and Order SVU and end up in somebody's dish because, oh, I didn't know it was a man, or it was a hate, like, it was dark. It was so dark. And then of course we have the other scenarios where they are villainized, you know, hey, rubs the lotion on the skin or else it gets the hose again. You know what it is. Come on up to the layer and see what's on the slab. I feel you shiver. Haha, with anticipation, act like you know. We love us some Tim Curry, but there was this sense of being dark, disturbed, and hypersexual. And these were the things that I were thinking were one in the same. I think we have something like, you know, rubs the lotion on the skin, you know, the whole Silence of the Lamb character. This is a cross-dresser. And then we have, you know, sweet transvestite. We even have it in the song. Still thought that this was the same thing as a drag queen. Thank you so much, Noxzema, for telling me no. Just such limited information and exposure at that time. And then we get a movie like this where we have 3 drag queens be the center of their own stories and tell their own narratives happily. And where is the body? Like, move over, mother, cause I'm going faster than you can drive. Pull up. Like, love it. Love the way that this movie starts out with that salt and pepper. I am body beautiful. This is the first and only time that we get to see Vita and Noxzema out of drag. They never de-drag the entirety of the film. I was like, so nobody untucked? Nobody untucked or took their pet. Like, throughout the entire movie, you never see them in their true form again. They literally wake up in drag. Not only do I love the scene for what it represents, but I just love that we get to see just how far drag has come. Like, did y'all see them little patents? Them little bustiers, them little tucks, like, oh my God, drag has came so far. But outside of them prepping for the competition, I remember when I first saw this movie, child, I was not prepared, because as far as I was concerned, Patrick Swayze, R.I.P., love him, was Dirty Dancing, Roadhousing, and he was my man. And then you have Wesley Snipes, who had just slid off a Demolition Man, Passenger 57, White Man Can't Jump energy, and they both said, do not ever try to box me in. Where we have John Leguizamo, who can sometimes be categorized as a character actor, so you can maybe expect this type of range from him. You always saw Patrick Swayze as the action star or the romance star. And then of course you had Wesley. Wesley was kicking ass the entirety of the 90s. So to see them be able to transform here and really throw themselves into these characters and be comfortable within their own sexuality was everything. Vita Boheme is poised. She is sophisticated, elegant lady. Noxzema Jackson is chocolate. She's bold, well-dressed fashionista, sassy, and ain't taking no ish off of nobody. And then you get to Don't Throw Your Mother at Me, Chi Chi. John was serving realness in this role. Even in 1995, with the really dated makeup, the wigs, the hair, with all 3. I do love that all 3 of them have their own individual style. So much of drag now is a little bit of the same thing. Vita, Noxzema, and Chi Chi could not be more different. I do miss that. But even in 95, with that bad lighting, all of those things put together, Chi Chi was giving realness. John was giving soft realness in this movie. On a good day, in a well-lit club, Chi Chi was not getting clocked. Now, via the movie and really prepping for the competition, the drag show in the beginning, it is really immersed in drag culture. I love that we have them in the element of real, actual drag queens. And you see them prepping, you see them performing, you see how dedicated they are to the craft, and you just really see how serious this is for them. More than just wearing a dress and a little makeup, it's a lifestyle to be taken seriously, especially if you want to be seen and win. Cause Ty, what she mean Ty? While Vita and Noxzema win a trip to Hollywood to compete for Drag Queen of America, Chi Chi is left crying in a bucket of tears. Poor little Latin boy in drag. Why are you crying? As if Noxzema cared. Like, you know, it's just you guys are so pretty. I just wanted to win this so bad. You know, I never won nothing my whole life. Every time I do something, I'm always getting it wrong, or somebody's always laughing at me. It's because I'm a loser. I hate my life. All the dramatics. Noxzema not giving a damn. The sniggles and giggles cracks me up every single time. Love me some Wesley Snipes here in this role. You know, those sweaty mechanics and getting up when their time is over. Like, get over yourself, poor little Latin boy in drag. Like, I just love how vastly different they are. Where you have Noxzema, child, I am not concerned. If it's not about me, then it's not my business. Does it have a club call? Please tell me if it has a club call. I don't do the bus. Whereas you have Miss Vita, it is her sole mission to help others. Vita is so eager to trade in those plane tickets with John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt to accommodate Chi Chi. She finds her most fulfillment when she's helping others, not only Chi Chi, but later Carol Ann. Since Miss Vita wants nothing more than to be loved and accepted for who she truly is, because she was Sean, there will be a barbecue at 12 Oaks tonight from this, you know, predominant family and neighborhood that she clearly loves and misses so much. But this has transferred into Vita just being the ultimate perfection 24/7. She is practically an angel without any wings. And that's not to say that Vita's heart isn't in the right place. She is definitely the best kind of person, but there is a sense of her making up for something or trying to prove a point. Am I not worthy to be praised, to be loved, to be appreciated, to be someone's family? Look at who I am and look at what I do for others. Child, then we get into the ever so selfish Chi Chi. If I was your bread, would you be my butter? You know what I'm saying? Chi Chi is envious of both Vita and Noxy beforehand because she doesn't feel like she's on their level, when in actuality, Chi Chi isn't all that comfortable and doesn't really know her own drag identity. As well as herself, she's a frequent deserter. She is so eager to give up and solely rely on a big, strong, strapping man. But at the same time, Chi Chi wants more than anything than to prove that she's just a little bit more than a boy in a dress. Like, look at her looking like she's running across the border. Like, Noxzema was on one. I mean, like, can I just stay a princess? It's so much younger than queens. Absolutely love it. With Julie Newmar, the statuesque Julie Newmar, leading the way, Vita has no doubt that this role will not only lead them to Hollywood, but a whole entire journey into Chi Chi's drag discovery, when in actuality, all three of these ladies learn something from each other, as well as the people they encounter within the small town. But there's only one question: style or substance? I say that all the time. Gotta move, gotta get out, gotta leave this place, gotta find some place, some other place, some brand new place, some place where each face that I see won't be staring back at me, telling me what to be and how to be it. Girl, some place where I could just be moi. Come through Barbra Streisand. The road trip of it all. Vita, this is Unbecoming of a Lady. Love the road trip. This movie just makes you want to get in a car, whether you are by yourself or with a group of friends. Just find some open road and go. It just looks like freedom. freshening up, stopping at motels, preparing for the worst, being accepted, learning from Chi-Chi, learning from each other, singing some good old Brick House in the Moving Car as Chi-Chi earns yet another princess point. But I do still enjoy the way that this movie decided to incorporate tension. It's lighthearted, but there are still stakes at the same time. It's surrounding the ladies being drag queens, but it's not at the same time. A lost Vida experienced sexual harassment by a trash officer, as any woman could. With so many portrayals at the time still relying on that same narrative of, oh, I didn't know it was a man type of thing that was really going on in the 90s and those early 2000s. It's nice that we still have some of those tropes in there, but we still managed to keep the narrative of the film the same. The tone is still light, and we didn't have to destroy any of the ladies to get there. Even when we're getting into Vida being nervous at the fact that her driver's license still said, Eugene, Eugene, like, Eugene. We still get, you know, comments from Chi-Chi. I think he's prejudiced. You were probably the brightest in your class, weren't you? Love all of that. But even when we get into the actual moment of Sheriff Dullard harassing Vida, hey buddy, get your hand off my dick. Like, I love the fact that we have multiple scenes within this movie where there is Chi-Chi, mostly Noxzema and Vida, that we have them show the physical strength that they are still capable of, and that no matter, you know, the portrayal, the drag, the persona that I am putting on, and I'm just, you know, about as feminine as they come, but I am still a man. I still have that physical strength to protect myself. Like, that's just such a huge part of what we are trying to get away from when we are getting into gender roles and titles and them, theirs, and theirs that are being applied to the LGBTQIA community now. It was just kind of refreshing to go back here and see the likes of Noxzema and Vida whoop ass if necessary. Like, I can do some physical things that the average woman may not be able to do. I'm still a man up under these clothes. I mean, don't quote me, mommies, but I think this one is deceased, and don't leave me here with this dead man. Like, from that harsh, hard push, Vida assumes that we may have killed Sheriff Dullard. Well, it's a misprint. We think we killed the man, at which we are kind of Thelma and Louising it at this point, but we're not, because we go to a rest stop, we refresh, and everything's right with the world again. But with the car not starting, we end up in this poor podunk town with a population of about 13. You don't know me, I'm the Latina Marilyn Monroe. I got more legs than a bucket of chicken. Chi-Chi gets them a ride. We end up in this town where names are thrown around like Bobby Ray, Bobby Lee, and Jimmy Joe. And also home to a very broken Stockard Channing. I don't know at what age I finally realized that her face isn't just familiar, it's Rizzo from the Pink Ladies. I did not know that that was her before. Love me some Rizzo. I could flirt with all the guys. Come on, a saxophone. Smile at them and bat my eyes, press against them when we dance. Make them think they stand a chance, then refuse to see it through. That's the thing I'd never do. Loved it. In Sneedy Sidesville, in an even seedier motel room, the ladies are completely out of their element. But at the same time, we are a breath of fresh air for this town that they can't wait to get out of, to eagerly separate from the townspeople as well as each other, blaming one another for the misfortunes of the trip. You know what I think the last person who stayed in this room was Sam Cooke. I love the fact that they aren't clocked, and with them being in this podunk town, they sure are big for girls. They sure are tall. Waiting for this caddy to be fixed, each queen finds a new purpose within one of the residents. In the meantime, a very alive Sheriff Dullard is having a hard time finding the ladies, as well as not being a laughingstock due to the narrative in the conversation around him being possibly handled by 3 women or 3 boys in a dress. Starting with Chi Chi, who wants so badly to be somebody's damsel in distress. You hear her multiple times, you know, mention somebody just scooping her up, taking her away from everything. Even with the romance novels that she obsesses over, reading them throughout the entirety of the movie, you can tell that she has been looking for love, but maybe in the wrong places. Chi Chi thinks later and leads with her body first, to the point that she is almost assaulted by a group of men and has to be rescued by Bobby Ray. Now that's how you pick up a lady. Gotta love that Chi Chi. Oh my God, you said a mouthful. Chi Chi finds herself the most within this movie when she has to relinquish maybe the first guy to show her genuine care and concern to the very young Bobby Lee, who likes him as well. Now, of course, Bobby Ray does not know that he and Chi Chi share the same parts. Shout out to RuPaul's Drag Race. Same parts. But Chi Chi at this point is selfishly willing to risk that, pretending to be all woman for Bobby Ray just to ultimately get what she wants. Chi Chi desperately wants to be loved. And I love that kind of low-key being the common thread that she and Vita have in common, but it's a different type of love. When we're getting into, you know, the softness and the realness of Chi Chi, with her maybe not being able to be so clockable, you can tell that she maybe had a couple of crying game situations to where, you know, there were maybe some straight men who were interested, but on discovering that she was actually a man, maybe changed their minds about wanting to be with her. And then you have the other side of the narrative where maybe there was, you know, a straight man or a particular type of man who wanted to be with Chi Chi, but maybe wanted to keep her in the closet. You have getting up when their time is over, like, no, I want some real love. But a growing Chi Chi realizes that what she isn't doing is okay. We are now making sacrifices. We are now leaving the princess stage. Comb your hair and please put on a clean shirt when you step outside your door. It's an affront to the very delicacy of my nature. Face, like. An older woman who makes her grow beyond her own personal focus. This woman has been written off and laughed at due to her being silent for years after heartbreak. Now Noxzema, yes, Jesse's daughter. Noxzema and this older woman find common ground with their love for pictures, old films, and old Hollywood stars, black stars such as Pearl Bailey and Carmen Jones, Dorothy Dandridge herself. I love that Noxzema wants so badly to go to Hollywood and star in the production of, you know, Dorothy Dandridge's life. I'm like, girl, Holly beat you to it. But we're still getting into one particular thread with these ladies wanting to feel acceptance. Noxzema and the older lady naming off all of Dorothy Dandridge's films. You know, when did you start talking? Now, you ain't gonna get up and start walking on water, nothing like that, are you? Like, yoo-hoo, I just loved it. Wesley was really bodying this role. The relationship that Noxzema has with this older lady really matches up to the relationship that she had with Chi Chi prior. Not wanting to take a chance on her, not wanting to help her, always being a little combative with her. It's a whole thing to say people will surprise you. Something good can come from the places that you least expected. And lastly, of course, we have Miss Vita Bohème, who makes it her mission as soon as she touches down to save sweet little Carol Ann from her abusive, dusty husband, Virgil. Though Vita presents herself as the moral high ground in every single situation, especially when it comes to Chi Chi, and though she may be right, Vita wants so badly to appear as overly helpful, almost perfect, because she has yet to find any real love and acceptance outside of her fellow drag sisters like Noxzema. Nobody has yet to embrace both Vita and Eugene at the same time. Vita is literally a big saving grace because no one has ever technically saved her. You know, Carol Ann, it's something you don't know about Vita, mommy. Vita works out a lot. Though Vita creates a whole nother enemy to team up with Sheriff Dullard in the process of looking for the three of them and taking them down, when she biatch slaps Virgil, it is absolutely hilarious. All three queens bring love, color, beauty, inspiration, courage, self-esteem, fashion, and a party to this town that was literally lifeless before they got there. And of course they bring their Adam's apples, because you know most women don't have Adam's apples. Like, why'd you guys say Adam's apples? All right. I've been knew who you were as well as your friends, and I don't care. Who you ladies are as people inside your heart completely negates what you have in between your legs. There is no need to conceal who you are or hide anything. I love you and I appreciate you. I'm gonna miss you anyway. As well as all the other people in the town. They love and appreciate these ladies for the light that they brought. They are simply good people. In fact, great people who need to be protected. But with Sheriff Dillard and punk ass Virgil standing here, I'm a drag queen, this is a drag queen, we are all drag queens. Are you gonna take all of us in? Like, not today. Back your ass up about Strawberry Social. Strawberry Social was everything. I love the running theme of Red, and even just the ladies really coming together to believe in themselves, their groups, their future, and just believe in people. All parties involved walk away changed for the better. You know, I always loved Julie Newmar. I always thought she was so statuesque. Like, oh, love it, Peter. Go back and see him sometime. Even when we get into the end, who steps into the center, into the light, and wins the contest in Hollywood? Oh, it's Miss Chi Chi, of course, because she has now found herself and come into her full-fledged drag queen hoodness. Such a warm, heart-filled, good time movie. Because what do you mean be a drag queen? I am a drag queen. You sure are, Chi Chi. You sure. Well, you guys, that was my review for To Wong Foo. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please drop down and tell me if you did. Get those comments rolling, those likes rolling. Help a sister out. You know I need it. We trying to get to 20 and 30K before the year is out. But I appreciate you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for being here with me. Like, y'all know it's a good time. It's a vibe. I see you guys next time. Bye.
Commissioner!